Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking on a topic that, for years, has had Hollywood and the entire music industry completely tied up.
It's a big one.
A huge one. That chaotic, almost existential clash between AI creation and the very foundation of, copyright.
Right.
For a long time, this was framed as a war that copyright holders were, well, frankly, destined to lose. But a recent, absolutely landmark revolution has just completely redefined the future for everyone.
That's exactly right. And we're diving deep into that groundbreaking settlement between Warner Music Group WMG and the AI music platform Suno.
And this is more than just a news story, right?
Oh, so much more. This is not a legal footnote. It's a seismic cultural shift.
All right.
Our mission today is to unpack the intense legal storm that led to this, dissect the specific terms of the deal,
Especially the technical side.
and explain why this massive pivot from, litigation to collaboration is setting a powerful new industry standard.
And our sources for this deep dive really get into the weeds of this agreement, focusing on how WMG and Suno navigated these deep copyright conflicts. And they did it by putting artist rights and license models front and center.
It's a blueprint, really, not just a compromise. It's a blueprint for anyone trying to figure out intellectual property in the age of AI.
So where does this story even begin?
It begins with a storm, a legal storm.
Okay, so to really appreciate how radical this November 2025 agreement is, we have to go back. We have to start with the environment before the deal.
Yeah, you have to set the scene.
So let's think back to June 2024. The major music groups, they weren't just, sending angry letters. WMG, Sony, Universal Music Group, they launched these massive unified copyright infringement suits.
And they named names. Suno and Udio were specifically targeted.
The music industry felt like its back was against the wall. This wasn't just about a few songs being sampled.
No. The core allegation was systemic abuse. They claimed these AI companies had trained their models on millions of unlicensed songs.
Millions.
The entire catalogs of the world's biggest artists, all without permission and, critically, without any compensation.
And the language they used. It wasn't just legalese. I mean, they publicly called this wholesale theft.
Exactly, wholesale theft. It wasn't framed as a corporate skirmish. It was framed as an existential threat to the whole creative economy. The feeling was, if this continues, the value of human art could just plummet.
And that feeling, it caught on.
It really did. What took this from just a lawsuit to a real cultural moment was the outcry from artists. You had A-listers.
Like, who are we talking about?
We're talking about people like Billie Eilish, Nicki Minaj, major icons publicly condemning what they called predatory AI.
So that gave the whole thing a different weight.
A huge weight. It unified the creative community, and it sent a clear signal to the courts and to the public about just how high the stakes were.
So you've got the three biggest music corporations, backed by the biggest artists in the world, all saying basically shut it down.
An overwhelming force. That's the context. And that context is so important because then everything changes.
After more than a year of this really heated litigation.
Litigation that was going nowhere fast, by the way. And then in November 2025, WMG and Suno reach a settlement. The script completely flips.
It's a whiplash moment.
Total whiplash. You go from bitter legal enemies to, well, partners.
Okay, hold on. I need to pause on that. You said the litigation was going nowhere fast. That's a really key insight. If WMG was so sure this was wholesale theft, why pivot? Why not just fight to the end?
That's the most fascinating part of this whole story. The labels, I think, realized that suing was just not a sustainable strategy.
Really? Their moral argument seems so strong.
Morally, yes, but legally, it's a nightmare. The technology makes it almost impossible to prove in a courtroom that one AI-generated song came specifically from one copyrighted WMG song. The training data is just too vast.
A black box.
It's a black box. So the real seismic shift here isn't the partnership itself. It's the music industry waking up and realizing the courtroom couldn't solve this. They had to switch from trying to punish them to, well, licensing them to secure future revenue.
Ah, okay. So it was a pragmatic exit strategy, but they framed it as a victory.
Pretty much.
So let's unpack the deal. The agreement allows Suno to train new AI models, but only using fully licensed WMG songs. How do they actually ensure that happens?
This is where it gets really interesting, and it's the critical part for you, the listener, who cares about this stuff. The revolutionary element is consent and traceability.
So artists get a say.
They get the only say. They have to opt in. Their work cannot be used without their explicit permission.
And how does that work technically? Is Suno just building a whole new model from scratch with only WMG's data?
Essentially, yes. The old models, you couldn't trace the inputs. The new licensed models, they're built differently. They're likely using things like cryptographic watermarking on the training data.
So WMG can audit it.
WMG can audit exactly which songs are in there, and that makes the promise of revocable consent, the idea that an artist can pull their work out, actually enforceable. It's a huge technical step.
And this immediately changes things for the user, for the consumer.
Hmm.
Suno is moving away from that whole free-for-all model.
Right. It's a subscription model now. You have to subscribe to download tracks. There are monthly limits. You can buy more downloads. The whole platform is now built to support the financial side of this.
So the whole ecosystem shifts.
The entire ecosystem. And when WMG's CEO, Robert Kinkle, announced this, he called it a victory for the creative community that benefits everyone.
Strong words.
Very. And he wasn't just talking about ending a lawsuit. He said this deal is a blueprint, a non-negotiable standard for how they'll deal with every AI company from now on.
Okay, but again, a victory. If they gave up on stopping AI from training on their work and settled for licensing, how is that a victory? It sounds like they were forced to compromise.
It's a victory of control, not prohibition. I think Kinkle realized stopping the tech was impossible.
But controlling the money wasn't.
Controlling the economic terms was achievable. And he backed it up with 3 mandates, 3 non-negotiables. Number 1, AI models must be licensed. You have to respect copyright and you have to pay.
And number 2 is for the artists, right, to get them on board.
Absolutely. Creators must maintain full control over their name, their image, their voice, their compositions. That creative identity. You can't make an AI deepfake of my voice. That's sacred.
So an artist can opt in to let Suno use their compositions to learn about songwriting.
Exactly, to understand pop song structure, for instance. But Suno can't then generate a new track that sounds like it's being sung by Taylor Swift.
That distinction is crucial.
It's everything. And the third point links all this protection to growth. It's not just about stopping theft. It's about actively creating new revenue streams, new fan experiences using AI, but in an authorized way.
So the blueprint is pay us, respect our artist's identity, and then we'll work with you to make more money.
It's a very sophisticated trade-off.
But what about Suno? How do they spin this?
Well, their CEO, Mikey Schulman, he presented it as an opportunity. He said the settlement unlocks a bigger, richer experience for music lovers.
How so?
The idea is that by using high-quality, ethically sourced, licensed data, their models will just get better. The quality of the output will improve dramatically for everyone.
So it's a democratization thing. It's not just for the labels. It's for the average person who wants to create good music that's also legally safe.
That's the vision. And it's already on their roadmap. For 2026, they're planning to launch advanced, fully licensed models that will completely replace the old versions.
So they're going all in.
All in on ethical, permission-based tech. And what's really fascinating is that this isn't just a one-off deal with Suno.
Right, you mentioned Udio.
Exactly. Just days before this, WMG settled with Udio, the other big platform they sued.
This is becoming a pattern.
It's becoming the standard. And Universal and Sony, who were in on that first lawsuit, they're now chasing similar deals with other AI companies. They saw WMG's pivot work. They know the courtroom is a dead end.
So the war is over.
The legal war is over. And it's turned into this collaborative gold rush. The labels are now racing to build these partnerships to protect artists, but also capitalize on the enormous potential here.
It's an investment strategy born out of necessity.
Totally. So for really thorough understanding, let's just hammer home the safeguards for creators, because this is what matters.
Okay, let's do it.
First, it's opt-in only. Artists have full control. Second, explicit consent is required. No fine print, no sneaky clauses.
And the most important one.
Their rights are revocable. An artist can pull their permission at any time.
That gives them so much leverage.
An incredible amount.
Okay, now let's talk brass tacks. We've got the control, now show me the money. These deals created what, 3 new revenue streams?
3 brand new distinct revenue streams. And we're not talking about token payments. This is real structural funding.
What's the first one?
First is licensing fees. These are direct upfront payments just for the right to use the data for training. Think of it like paying a fee to enter the gold mine.
And these are significant amounts, we assume.
The numbers are confidential, but yeah, they have to be big enough to justify this whole new strategy. They are not token payments.
Okay. And the second stream is more continuous.
Exactly. That's a share of the subscription revenue. So as Suno gets more subscribers paying monthly, the artists get a piece of that pie. It ties their success directly to the platform's growth.
Right, so they scale together.
They scale together.
And the last one is more like a traditional royalty.
It is. It's per download earnings. When a user actually pays to download an AI-generated track, a royalty is paid out.
And how does that get to the right people? I mean, does the headliner get it all, or does the session musician who played on one of the training tracks get a cut?
That is the complex part, but it's solvable. Because WMG controls both recording and publishing rights, they have the infrastructure to split these earnings. If a session musician's work is in that training data and they have a contract for residuals,
Then by law, they have to get paid from these new streams.
they have to get paid. It ensures everyone in the creative chain is compensated.
So the big takeaway here is really powerful. It proves that protecting artists and innovating with technology, they aren't mutually exclusive.
Not at all. They have to fuel each other now. It creates a virtuous circle. Protection leads to licensing. Licensing leads to better models. And better models create new products that generate more revenue.
Which flows back to the creators.
Precisely.
Looking back, this whole WMG Suno settlement feels like a truly defining moment. It's the first major resolution to really validate both AI innovation and artist rights at the same time.
I think so. It sets a powerful and, more importantly, an auditable precedent for balancing this new tech with fair pay and real creative control. Globally. And this whole framework, it's designed to do more than just tolerate creators. The idea is to celebrate them, to compensate them fairly. And that, the thinking goes, will lead to unprecedented creative possibilities.
So here's the final thought, the provocative question for you to consider. The deal focuses a lot on compensating big, established artists. But how might this new system, guaranteed revenue, total control, the ability to opt in and get paid for your data, how might that empower a niche artist?
Or a developing artist who always struggled to monetize their work before? Think about the shift in leverage these terms provide to all creators, not just the famous ones. It's significant.
An exciting future for music, built on an ethical foundation. That was a powerful deep dive. Thank you for joining us.